I'm going to move this around a little, see if anybody can tell what I did here. Alright, so what I've done is I pulled out the screws right here. Let me get this re-angled. The screws down here, front and rear. I recessed the hole, so now the steering doesn't hit that screw head. The screw head used to stick out, so that's flush now and increases the steering just a little, but that's not what I'm showing right now that I did. That's not the big thing I just did. I took those screws out, front and rear of the hubs, or knuckles, whatever you want to call them, and I repositioned them. I tilted the pinion up at an angle and then turned the steering links up this way, so now it makes a V, and that's going to angle the drive shaft up a little bit. I've got it a little bit sharper of an angle than I want, but my links are a little too short to go where I want with it. So I'm probably going to replace all these links with some longer ones eventually anyway. I do like this little gamey 90mm chassis with longer links. It just makes things, so makes life so much easier with this little chassis. And I'll do taller shocks also, but angling the pinion up at an angle, it's at an angle about, give or take, about like this. You can see it in there. So pinion's at an angle about like this, and the steering links, steering parts are at about like this. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit much. I like that. So that's going to raise this link up higher and give it clearance, you know, on the ground, I guess, rocks. Keeps the link up higher. And I also made this link, is this side right here is kind of free floating. I drilled it out so it moves. The only thing that's keeping that link on, that side on, is the top link now, the steering link. Servo, I'm planning on mounting it ahead in front instead of anywhere, you know, mounting it in the back or anything. I think I'm going to cut this, and well, I'll probably redesign this. I could make one out of brass or aluminum and make it set lower, the steering servo. Just trying to figure out how to make my little gamey RC better than it's ever been, other than with the big low-C axles and stuff. But that'll give it some steering link clearance, so it'll kind of slide over things better, because before, with the pinion at this angle or just a hair lower, like somewhere in there, the steering, with it mounted in the factory holes on the XL1 axle, it was the steering link was low. It was way down here, and I didn't like it. So this raises the steering link higher. So it's now clocked like that. So just wanted to do something this morning. So it does still have the same not so great but okay articulation with the short shocks on it. These are the really short ones. But this I'm not building this one to be a crawler. It's more of a bouncer, which is why it bounces. There are weights in the front and weights in the rear, I do believe. Yeah. And they act as bead lock rings, and you can see they do hold air. Not like, there you go, you can see it's got a good vacuum seal basically. That'll bleed back out and pop out in a little bit. It'll reinflate itself, so kind of bouncy. More bouncy in the rear than it is in the front, and I'm okay with that. So I'm sure once I get motor and electronics in it, it'll be a lot better. I'm thinking brushless and Metal Gear servo possibly in the future on this, just because I've had it for quite a while, never did hook up any lights in it. Made two little light cover screen things, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen the video where I talked about doing that. Those are actually out of old earbuds, so they got the little metal screens in them. I cut the little plastic part off where it has the little silicone. Let me show what I'm talking about here. This old set. Some of the earbuds, when you take the little silicone piece off, they have a metal screen in them. Some are this whatever material mesh that is, and some are metal screen. And the set that I put in that are metal screen ones. There's some that my kid broke, or found at school or something, I don't know. He brought them home, they didn't work, I think is what it was. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to break the seal a little bit on this to get that to reinflate. And I just knocked my truck over. It's not going to reinflate. But anyway, it will eventually. It's just being really slow right now. The more I touch it, the more it pops up a little better. There we go. Tiny bit more. This one spot just doesn't want to cooperate. I've got most of it out, so. But yeah, I just wanted to show that there's a new set of SCX 24 Mofo RC axles that are clocked like this. They're pre-clocked, and some people are modifying their SCX 24 axles, from what I've understood, to where they're kind of done this way. So I just saw a video of those the other night, about a week ago, I guess. I don't even remember. And I was just sitting here this morning thinking, bored, and decided I'd give it a try. So I'm not doing anything with the Gammy right now, so figured it'd be a good opportunity to try it out. That's going to irritate me. Flat spot. It's almost out. it reinflates. It's such a good seal on those weights. The weights that I'm using in this are ball bearing sleeves, the outer shield part of a ball bearing. And I can even tell you what they're out of. My daughter had a pair of those Heely shoes, and she had run through water and stuff, and they started rusting, corroding, whatever. And she didn't fit them anymore, so I took the bearings out, and they just happened to be almost the perfect size. So I used my Dremel and a sanding drum, I think, and ran it around the inside a little bit, each one of them, until it fit pretty much perfect. So, yep. And I'm pretty sure I've figured out some electronics for this. I can fit a D4L, just the main board of a D4L in it, and the small battery, the 120, does fit. But I don't really want to throw the money out for another D4L. I've got 2 of them. Technically, I have 3 of the receivers, but I don't really want to buy another D4L. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do another one of the micro ESCs, or micro receiver and transmitters that Tiny 4x4's got. I'm getting one of those for the new project coming. I'm going to test fit it in the gammy just to make sure before I do purchase it for it. But the Orlandoo TS0001 does fit in it, and it's an older chassis design, and that's a small enough ESC that I could use it with the little micro receiver. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And if I go brushless with it, then of course I won't use the TS0001. I'll use the receiver or the ESC that comes with the brushless. It goes to the brushless. So just kind of going through my head right now and trying to figure out some stuff. So I keep telling myself to get some more cutter bits and stuff so I can make some little brass rings, because I don't want to buy any. I've got brass sheet. It's really thin. It's easy to cut. And I like making stuff, but I'm not going to do it. I've already wore out pretty much everything, all of my cutter discs, the ones that are not broken and gone. Well, this is my diamond. You can see there's no diamond left on the edge. It's just a metal disc on the outside. I use this for this part for working on stuff. My very last cutoff disc is now that small. That is my very last one, and it's not the thin ones, it's the kind of thick one. So, and I've got another solid disc diamond. I've got a bunch of these laying around over here, but it is what it is. When you hobby it, you wear the stuff out. So, and I don't have a drill bit small enough to drill out these holes, so I used a stick pin. I don't know if that'll focus. It's a stick pin on there. that I flattened with a diamond disc on like 2 or 3 sides to give it some sharp edges, and it works as a bore. Not really a drill bit, but it worked fine. It's an extra small hole where the screw goes. Screws, because there's 4 of them. But anyway, that's the plan, man or ma'am. You can see the angle of the pinion is pointed up, and that should keep it in line with the front motor shaft or transmission shaft. And the steering is now, it looks level on my camera, but it is not level. It's angled up quite a bit. Well, actually, you know what? It might be level because of the angle of the axle is up a little higher than I want it. So, but that's also, like I said, I'm doing that because of the links are not long enough. I'm pretty sure these are XO1 links. Could be the F-150 links. I don't even remember anymore. But it's a mix of links also. The rear links, you can see the top ones are really short. Those are not XO1 links. So, but I mean, it looks good sitting like that. Block. But honestly, I want it longer. And I don't know, I'm always thinking maybe I'll do a 4-wheel steer on this and longer links. So I've already done, these are carbon fiber inserts that I made. You can see the stock mounting holes for the rear suspension is down here. It'd be this level, and I raised it up to set the rear a little lower. And if I'm using longer shocks, I made these holes in the 3D printed body, and I can move the shocks back that way. This is the other stock shock mount, the lower one. But I've played around with this chassis design quite a bit, and I have, before I even painted it, bashed it and bashed it and bashed it. If you watch my videos, this body used to be on it. I even had a magnet inserted in there and in here on the body, and here is a metal plate that kept it on. But yeah, that was used to be my basher out in the backyard, until I decided to strip it and paint it like the Baby Fat Girl, orange and silver. Or, well, Fat Lady, Tim Cameron. So, to me, the Gammy RC Baby Fat Girl in 1/32 scale with the rest of these, this would be more like a UTV side by side type, but smaller. It's so small. The cage is so small, but it looks really kick ass. I love it. It's a fun one. So I gotta get servos and everything. As always, I say that. This was just something I wanted to try. I haven't done this to any of my other ones, and I'm hoping it'll work out. So anyway, 20-minute video. I'm gonna shut up now and stop repeating things. We've got stuff on the way still, of course. Nothing ever shows up fast enough. So keep watching and give me a thumbs up. Shout at me in the comments, tell me how dumb it looks, whatever. I'm bored. I'm hoping the skull axles show up soon so I can start getting those assembled and see which one of these chassis that I'm going to use them on. Yeah. And as far as that, I don't think they'll look right on this or work right on it because of the drop that I've made down here. That's going to set the motor and transmission a lot lower in this chassis, and this one does set low and it is high in the front, so I would have room for the servo, but I'd have to make a servo mount for that axle. I don't know yet. Not really sure. And the brass one, it would work in, they would work in the brass one too, even if I did set it low, but the drive shaft would be mounted, or it would have to tilt down. So not sure yet. My modified XO1 chassis, I don't think I want to do those axles in that. I don't really see where they would work out with this. So yeah. I'm thinking the worm gear axles might actually go in this. We will see. So anyway, I said I was going to shut up, and then I looked at something else and spoke some more. I'm done. Y'all have a good day, night, morning, wherever, evening, afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. And yeah.